Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of People of Penang. And here we have here today is our brother Jason Blaikie from St. Xavier's Institution, one of the oldest schools around. I think we're going to have a wonderful conversation. Right, Mo?
Yeah. So when you say one of, like, is
Yes.
it one of the English speaking?
Oh, don't tell about our rivals there, the PFS.
Okay. Whoa,
You're touching a dangerous topic.
I didn't realize they were fighting words. But like,
Yeah, that's kidding. Oh, welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
yes.
Eugene.
So you've done a lot of interesting things with the museum, because I remember straight after COVID, I had a visit, and what was beautiful about it was it actually.
I think we have to tell the audience though. We're talking about the Heritage Gallery at St. Xavier's Institutions. I
Yeah.
think it's probably one of the only schools with a proper museum.
I think
Yes.
museum full stop,
Yes,
because
yes.
it's pretty in depth into the history of the school and the alma maters, and I really didn't know how many people within our circle actually went to St. Xavier's.
It's like what, 3,000 square feet or something, right?
Quite, yeah, it's quite big.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe you
yeah.
can share us how it came to be the idea and all that.
Sure. So when I was transferred to Penang, there was the old Board of Governors, and they had the idea of setting up some sort of heritage room. And at that time, we had Form 6. The Form 6 boys and girls were with us. And then the Form 6, the number of students in Form 6 started dwindling. So the ministry very wisely decided to bring all the Form 6, combine all the Form 6 students to another school. So suddenly we realized we inherited one big whole block of classrooms. So the idea of the heritage room became a heritage center. So like all these good things, one thing led to the next. And one room became 5 rooms, 5 spaces.
Wow.
Did it start with that? I remember vaguely there's a room with all the medals, right? All the
That's right.
Yeah, is
Yes,
that one?
there was a
Yeah.
trophy room.
Trophy room, yes.
Right, and then we wanted to expand it a little bit more because we felt that a school like St. Xavier, such rich heritage, 170 years of history, that we should do more. So it started with, and then MCO happened, COVID and MCO. So I was very bored. So as a result of my boredom, the late Vincent Michael, you see, previously he gave me a set of keys. So I asked Vincent, what is these keys? He said, one day you go and explore.
Vincent is an institution on itself. I mean, the St.
right.
Xavier students, he's the caretaker. And
That's
he's always
right.
been there for a long time.
The
He was
late-
an orphan, right?
Yes, he
yes,
was.
yes.
Yeah. He was my dad's classmate.
I
also,
see.
Oh wow.
Vincent Michael.
Well, continue.
Yeah, so during MCO, I had time to play with this big bunch of keys. So I found that this key opened a room, and in this room were all school leaving certificates in a box. So I picked them up, and it was all crumbling in my hands, all eaten and stuff like that. So I was bored. I went back to my bedroom, and I was wondering what to do with them. So I said, maybe what we should do is we should scan them. But it was so fragile, so we couldn't put them on a flatbed scanner. So what we did, mounted a camera and just took a photo, turn the next page, took a photo. So we end up with 35,000 school living certificates, more or less. Then after that, we had the idea of putting them in an Excel file. Then after that, we said, hey, then also the Heritage Committee said that we should have a Hall of Fame. So the who's who, all the Tan Sris and the Datoks and all that. So I told Brother Anthony Rogers at the table, right, and that we have moving forward with this project. And Brother Anthony Rogers said, why only the who's who? We should celebrate everybody. So that is why the first section of the Heritage Center is the 35,663 names of everybody that has ever studied in St. Xavier's before.
Yeah, I've noticed the wall leading into the
That's
entrance.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. So our way of saying that everyone's a VIP, everyone's important. Yeah. So I'm very happy and pleased with that. And then
We are all very pleased too.
I can tell that you guys are very, very proud of your alma mater heritage.
Yeah,
And,
I think
and
we
rightly so. Yeah. Because St. Xavier's has been. When was it founded? In
in 1852.
1852. There you
It
go.
took over from an earlier school,
That's right.
Yeah.
the Salle Brothers.
That's
So
right.
you could argue that it's even older than that.
It's even older than Free School, because the in 1786 founding of Penang, right?
1787 is already there.
And 1787 there was already a parochial school, a church school, that the brothers took over in 1825. So if we trace Saint Xavier's Free School, it goes back to 1887. 1887.
There was a book, right? Because of you found all the documents. and was compiled by the Penang Institute in the book.
That's right.
Related, right?
That's right.
Can you
Yes.
talk about a little bit about that?
Sure. So in that same cardboard box that I found in the archive room were old newspaper cuttings, lots of junk, and right at the bottom, somewhere near the bottom, there was a book that said the Annals of St. Xavier Institution, 1852 to 1925, all calligraphy and writing, handwriting, right? So I said, oh wow, this is quite good. So again, we got that scanned because it was all getting rotten.
Yeah.
And then we decided to transcribe that. So the process of transcription was quite fun. It wasn't really the interesting part for me was doing the research outside of that, you know. Yeah. And so that was volume 1. Volume 1, the annals goes from 1852 to 1925. Then we added some of school diaries and other documents to make it a bigger book. The story
So
is
it's a
bigger.
synthesis of various kind of documents you found.
That's right.
I see.
And it's raw history. It's the pure sources.
Primary sources.
Primary
Yes,
sources. So volume 2 will be colored. Will be the history, but interpreted by the brother directors.
Wow.
So each brother director, including myself, writes an official diary of the school. Right? So we have some brother directors in the past. I think they didn't know what to write, so they went like school as usual, school as usual, no school today.
Yes.
Right? And then we had other brother directors that were focused on certain things. So some brothers very focused on cricket. Cricket results that we got trumped again by free school, or we beat free school and so on. Then there were other brothers that were keen on history. So recently,
Like yourself.
yeah. So I just dropped the pipe band judges. We'll come to that, I think, right? The pipe band adjudicators they were flying to Sydney, so we took them to the airport, sent them away. And I remember the airport in Sydney is named after Kingsford Smith, right? So I remember I can't remember what year, but in the diaries, school was suddenly disrupted. All the boys were ushered to go to the school field and look out for Kingsford Smith's plane.
Oh,
Wow.
Because it had crashed.
Oh dear.
Oh wow, sorry. So the plane had crashed, and the government required all hands on deck to look for the wreckage. Of course, we couldn't find any wreckage, but a little research like that, wow, this is a real person in human history that was connected to our school, and it's a background story. And the Sydney airport is named Kingsford Smith.
Wow.
Who are some of the more well-known Xavierians?
Xavierians.
Xavierians. To everyone who doesn't know, I guess you can say the alma mater that actually graced.
Oh, it's a long list.
Well, top
Brother, go
5.
ahead.
What top 5? Top 10?
Oh, I don't know. How do you make that sort of judgment? Very difficult. How do you compare apple with orange, and how do you say that this fellow is a more prominent fellow than that fellow, and so on?
Or out of
Okay, let's just talk about Penang. The first Penang Chief Minister.
Oh yeah, Wong Pao Ni.
Wong Pao
yeah.
Ni.
Wong Pao Ni.
Yeah, yes.
Right, you got the Raja of Perlis, number 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
The 3rd, 4th, and 5th Raja of Perlis. You got lots of royalty. We got Datuk Paul Keong, very
Daim
famous.
Zainuddin.
Daim Zainuddin, Tun Daim. Many people. Got a few chaps.
Actually, the whole gallery.
Literally a whole gallery.
A whole gallery,
And
but-
you guys document it and actually maintain it. But what goes into setting that kind of infrastructure? Because it is quite beautiful.
Chong Queen Kui is in there too, right? Is it? Was he not? King Kui, Kapitan, or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So we had a team, a whole committee working together, each one doing research and stuff like that. My philosophy is that we work together as a team. We don't have time for prima donnas. Everybody works together as a team. I'm the boss, of course. Yeah.
Ethics, the school itself has created a tremendous amount of historians.
That's right.
I've
So
noticed.
we have a lot of depth in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, why is that? Is it because the school itself is quite...
Like Dr. Wiki Beng too of Penang Institute, he's
Oh, yeah.
That's
he's
right.
also
Yeah,
famous,
he helped edit the book.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to volume 2. Volume 2 will span from 1887, all the way until 2012. And that ends with Brother Charles's last entry. Brother director is sick, will be warded in hospital. And then he passes away. Sick. And then after that, then the diaries are quiet and silent. And then it continues again when I took over in 2020.
I see.
So this will be a living document.
Wow.
So I do enjoy all the side stories, the story of Cunningham Brown and all sorts of things.
Oh, even the CEO of Cunningham Brown, he was quite a character, like the final acting resident of Penang, right?
That's right.
yeah.
I like how when you guys discuss the history of Saint Xavier, right? Like both of you have this very.
And then we're not X-Men, Saint Xavier.
Saint Xavier.
Oh, sorry,
Xavier.
Saint Xavier. Sorry.
Professor
Yeah, okay. But what I meant was like
Oh, and we can be the X-Men, yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, you could. You literally have the name. But what I love about Penang is that regardless of the school you're from, well, or especially if you're from Saint Xavier, is like there is definitely a sense of pride and looking back and remembrance of everyone and then those that came before you. And I think that's really beautiful because that also helped Penang Hidden Gems a lot when we were doing French Heritage Tours. You know, because the school itself kept a very detailed document of who they are. You know, and I was wondering if was that always been the culture of the school, or was that implemented by one person and it was a tradition on and on?
No, I think it was always a culture of the school, right?
You're living in history itself.
living
That's
in
why there's
history.
so many people just understand the value of heritage.
That's right. So it was, I think, ingrained in our DNA. So, for instance, you got one brother director there writing out. Right, he's an eyewitness of the invasion of Penang, and he's scribbling at the back of an exercise book. You know, it's living history.
But the Catholic brothers have a tradition of recording things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was curious, though, during the time when they all were in Phuket and Penang, was there a reason why they were spread out from France? Was it because of the revolution or anything?
The brothers.
The brothers in general, yeah.
Your order is the Salle Brothers, right?
That's
It's
right.
different from the Mission Étranger, right?
Different.
Yeah,
different.
a little bit different.
Yeah. So our order was founded in 1680,
Yeah.
lebih kurang, more or less. And we were mainly a French order in France. And if my history is correct, Father Burrell from Singapore in the 1850s wanted to get the brothers to Singapore. And finally, in 1852, the Superior General, I can't remember his name now, but the Superior General then agreed and sent 6 brothers from France aboard a ship called La Julie. They skirted the Cape of Good Hope, and it took them 3 months because they went from port to port to port, right? And then they landed up in Singapore, and 3 brothers got down from the ship, and then 3 brothers continued on a different ship called the Edward Marquard up to Penang. So the 3 brothers that came up to Penang straight away jumped into school. There was already an existing school. So that is why we consider it the oldest Lasallian school in Asia.
Saint Francis Xavier didn't come to Penang, right? He was in Malacca. It's from another
Malacca,
time, right?
yeah.
So what was the mission specifically? Was it humanitarian or was it just exploration?
The mission, the brothers' mission is very simple: education.
So they were
That's it.
venturing out to educate.
Educate. That's
So
it.
So basically, it's in the foundation of the order itself to wherever they live. They actually set up a school. Was there a structure to the way the Brotherhood did things? Like when they landed in the spot, they had a structure for a school, maybe a church or place to train teachers.
Always we replied to invitation. Okay, so the latest invitation that we got, well, now latest is about 8 years now, in South Sudan. So we sent brothers to South Sudan, and they took over a girls' school, Loreto Convent, if I am correct. And when it was time to go, the brothers said goodbye, thank you, it's been a lovely experience, blah, blah, blah. And then the village chief said, hey, can you actually teach the boys? Because South Sudan, apparently, I'm told the culture is that the girls will do all the studying, and the boys just be boss at home.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So what had happened was the chiefs realized that these girls were getting a good education and getting good jobs in the town. And the boys were left at home to cook for themselves. So the chief said, this won't do. So what had happened is they invited the brothers to run a school for the boys. So the brothers said, we would like to very much, but we have no land to build a school. So the chief said, wait, we go away and have a discussion. So all the chiefs met, and they came back to the brothers, and we said, we'll give you a plot of land to do a school. So they gave the brothers 50 hectares of land, which is 50 kilometers squared
Wow.
for a school, a little plot of land. Yeah. And this school in South Sudan, in Rumbek, is still thriving.
I see.
Nothing to do about religion. It's all about education. That's our mission.
Can we get know more about you? So you're from Penang?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us maybe about how you got involved in St. Xavier's? I assume you studied there.
Yes.
Maybe you can share some stories.
Sure.
Yeah.
I studied there since standard 1 to form 5. Then around form 4, one brother came around and asked the Catholic boys who might be interested to become a teacher. So I put up my hand. And then after that, he got close to us, and then he said that who might be interested to know more about the life of the brother. So one long story short, so they said, would you like to go for a camp to Kuala Lumpur? So I went by train, and I really thought of running away at BM station. But I said, never mind, I'll give it a try. So I'm still giving it a try. Yeah, about 30 years later.
Wow. So you're still, I'm sorry, it took me a while to catch that. So you're still a work in progress.
Of course.
So you are part of the Eurasian community?
Yes, I'm a Eurasian. Yeah. So my training, I thought I will just be trained in Penang.
Yeah.
Right? And teach in my school, blah, blah, blah. But no, they sent me for training in Sri Lanka. Then 4 years in Sri Lanka, and then 4 years in Nairobi, Kenya. Then after that, 15 years in Singapore. And then they asked me to help open an international school, St. Joseph's International in Tropicana. And then finally they transferred me back here.
As a teacher and fostering students and things like that, how do you make knowledge interesting to your students in a day and age where YouTube and TikTok exist?
It's very interesting. I was having the same discussion with some boys from the year group of 1966 and 1968. They are back for a reunion. We had a question and answer session in the Heritage Center. And basically it was motivation. If kids are motivated to do what they like and they see results, they are encouraged, then the sky is the limit, right? So I can give you one example. When I was teaching English in Singapore, so I challenged this person, this boy, don't know what I can say his name, Kevin Martins, anyway, my former student. I said, and I think now he's Dr. Kevin Martins, I'm not sure. So I told him,
Of course, you can say his name.
That was such a flex in such a short moment. It's like, well, I had a student, he grew up now, doctor.
Yeah. So anyway, so I encouraged, I was teaching English through Greek. So I was flashing some Greek words writing some Greek on the board and all that. So I told Kevin, why don't you Eurasian chap, why don't you learn your Eurasian language, what's it called, Kristang or something. He's now a foremost authority on Kristang.
Wow.
A leading authority on Kristang. So when kids are motivated, the sky's the limit. It is so disheartening to see teachers that just nag the children. Have you done your homework yet? That's important. I'm not saying homework is not important, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to motivate them and get them interested. If that answers your question,
Oh yeah, of course. I just wanted to get into the mindset of those who run such a thing as a school, because it is quite a challenging job and one that people don't know can be quite taxing, because anyone who's ever been in a room full of children knows how hard it is to tell them to at least wipe their nose. Don't touch the cake before the birthday boy girl blows out the candle.
I think we are lucky to have a brother director here. So this may sound normal for people who understand, those Catholic schools here. It's getting rare now. So maybe we can explain a little bit what is a brother director and what's the difference from a headmaster and how is the mission school is different from a regular one.
Yeah. So in St. Xavier's, we have a principal. He does all the work. I run away. So he does all the work. He's the principal. So since 1993, we have split the two roles. So there is a principal that does day-to-day running of the school. And then you have the director that oversees the board of governors, sets the tone for all three St. Xavier schools, right, in Penang, about culture and ethos, and gets the whole show together. My basic job is to ensure the unity of the community. So the whole big Xaverian community in Penang. To make sure everyone's united and everyone comes back. Right? We are always, I know we have the detractors out there, that's fine. That's good. So, but the detractors, let us know how we might improve. we tell the whole community about what the school is doing through a YouTube channel once a month.
And 100-year-old alumni association.
Wow.
That's right, 100-year-old alumni association. Very, very, very supportive of the school. You know, so I was telling my boss, my superior, he was threatening to transfer me to South Sudan.
Oh.
So I said, no. But I'm really finding that the community in Penang, the Salle and Xavier community in Penang, right? The brothers are such a scarce resource. We're like matches in a matchbox. Spend them wisely, right? So what I find is that you light a match in Penang, everything really burns fast, right? Everyone is aflame fast, and that is what we want. So we would like to try and replicate this throughout Malaysia, and make other better schools even better.
Yeah, I definitely notice a lot of things with Penang is very community driven, which is very, very good, because when you have cities like Kuala Lumpur, for example, there's nothing bad in itself, but you do feel the capitalism a little bit, you know, as opposed to here. It's good that a lot of NGOs do contribute, whether they're an association majlis or any of the like. There is a grassroots movement to a lot of the programs, a lot of the initiatives by people on the ground level. That's one thing I've noticed about Penang compared to other cities that I've been in.
I think the beautiful part of the mission schools is that it's not about a job or a salary.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong dedication.
That's right. That's right. So back to your earlier question about success, a measure of success. Many educators just look at attainment, right? Results and stuff like that. We are looking at slightly deeper things. We are looking at more than that. Not everybody can study, including myself. I tell you, when I was in school, came out of the graduate second last class, right? But now I got a master's degree in educational leadership. So what we want to do is we want to give our kids the opportunity. So some detractors, very good. They said, brother, how come St. Xavier's is all about the past? Heritage Center, museum, 35,000 names on the wall. What are your plans for the future? So very simple. The plans for the future is we're trying to create a school within a school to try and have, and we are using the learning center for that platform to try and give people opportunities, right? So if a person out there in cyberspace in Penang or wherever wants to learn the bagpipes, for instance, come and learn on a Saturday morning at St. Xavier's.
It's so rich because when I moved to Singapore and my son went to a local school there, the amount of clubs were like you can count with your fingers. I remember in St. Xavier's, oh my goodness, it's so rich. We have an astronomy club, chess club. Some of them were like full-fledged ones that have been around for decades. It's just variety is mind-boggling. The band, it's fantastic.
So a lot of the development of the students themselves are from the
And the library is amazing. There are books from the 1900s.
That's right.
Yes, it's like
books.
So those things you say it's old, but actually that one influenced me a lot. I remember reading a book on astronomy by the brothers from like 1901, and they haven't discovered the other planets yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you say that, you're reading obsolete books, but it shows you how people got to the present day. It's like, wow, the knowledge. That's one of the rare things you don't get in a school that has no history. Yeah, it's just wonderful going through there.
How do you think that will change learning in general in the future? Do you think it would be more egalitarian, or do you think it will be more...
Hard to tell, because this AI and all that, right? They are just machines that generate information. For me, it's my small, limited knowledge of AI. But what we want to teach our kids is resilience. Because recessions will come, difficult times will come. How do we cope? Better to be a plastic ruler than a wooden ruler. Wooden ruler, a bit of cracks, snaps, but plastic ruler is resilient.
Right.
So we try to do that, right? And I do not know how successful we are, because education is a long-term investment. It'll come later on in life.
And it has paid off. The school is really so rich. You get the creativity part. We get artists. Reggie Lee is actually another alumni.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I believe I'm meeting him afterwards.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, he did a lot of work for the school.
yeah, a lot of
Very,
creatives
very
there.
nice.
So, how does the musical tradition part? You're part of the band, right? Tell us
That's right.
about how you're involved.
Especially why bagpipes.
That's right.
Yes, that's very
and I can
interesting.
tell you with authority, since we are transcribing the
Yes.
Brother Director's diaries, right? That in 1962 or 1963, 3. I need to revise my memory. But the fact that the date, right? But the fact is true. The first set of bagpipes were received from, drum roll, the Thai embassy.
Oh.
Of all places.
okay.
All people.
How? Why? Who?
I have
What?
no
Where?
idea.
When? And what?
No idea.
Recently in the championships, they were Thai group also, right?
There was also a group from Thailand, Vajiravut School.
Wow.
Maybe
Yeah.
some context first. Maybe Brother can explain about the St. Xavier's band.
Yes, so we are the first bagpipe group, schoolboy bagpipes band group in Malaysia. Founded in the, I think, late 50s, early 60s, right? And we had like 1 or 2 things left over from the British Army, or perhaps the British Army donated, their spare stock or their old stock or something. And Master Robbie Robles, the first band master of the school, he was the one that was doing all of this, and just giving boys opportunity and chance. Just do something new, giving them basically opportunities. Then the Thai embassy came in, and we got funding, and then one thing led to the next. And so anyway, in 2024, which last week, we submitted a group to participate in Southeast Asian Championships, and we won. It was a good win. All wins are good wins. So we came out champions in our category. Yeah, and we hope to develop this competition over the next few years in Penang, because we see the tourism value and etc. etc.
So this is competitive bagpipe
Yes,
playing.
yes, competitive.
What are the rules? What is the format of the tournament?
Good. The rules and the format. The rules first. The rules follow the RSPBA, Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association, and the Australian Panel of Judging.
Wow.
So we have to fly competent. We have to fly competent judges from Australia to judge the competition. Okay? So there are 2 elements. They've got to play a selection of marches for the first showing, and for the second showing, they have to do a 3 to 5 minute medley. Yeah. So, and then the rules of what they are supposed to present to the judge changes depending on what grade they are. So the higher the grade, the more level of difficulty. So there's grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4B. We took part in 4B. 4B is the lowest. Right? Grade 1 world champions in Scotland.
Do you have any idea how it came to be with the bagpipes? Are there any Scottish brothers around, or is it because the Eurasian community, they were part of the Penang volunteers and they learned it from the Scottish Highlanders? Could it be from there?
It could be very well. It could very well be from there. I'm not too sure, because this happened in the late 50s, early 60s. It could be something from the Gurkhas as well. There was also a story about the Gurkhas.
I'm not sure you know this teacher or not. He went to the Airitam branch, Luis Barbosa.
He's my uncle.
Oh,
Wow.
I remember learning from him.
Yeah.
Bagpipe is sweet. They put maple syrup.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, your uncle.
Yes.
So the community is very linked to the school, right?
Yes.
The Chinese actually call it the Serani school. It's from the word Nesrani.
Oh, right.
So it's associated, St. Xavier's, as the Eurasian school. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit.
I don't know. First time I've heard
Maybe you're so used to it, like fish in water.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
you go there, you have teachers like Barbosa, you
That's
have
right.
teachers like McIntyre,
Yes.
Galveston, it's
Galveston.
like the whole. You don't get it in other schools.
The way you describe it, as if it's like a sports roster of like the goats. So this was like what golden
Yes,
Xaverians.
Xaverian.
But those are his family members. To him, it's normal. But
Yeah.
if you're not, it's like, wow, this school is interesting. It's so many names there.
I was related to Luis Barbosa. I'm meeting him tomorrow for dinner.
Oh,
a family
meeting
dinner.
all the
He's-
things
yeah.
people were talking about.
Wow. So not only is the school seeped and preserving history, the people who are running it, part of it, the teachers themselves are part of that living history.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and he's the one that got me interested in pipes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he planted the seed, and that's what we aim to do in St. Xavier's. We want to plant the seed. We want to plant many seeds.
Well,
You know, they taught us how to make flutes from metal pipes. That's a useful skill.
That's right. That's right.
In which school they teach you those things?
Yes.
flutes from
Flutes.
metal pipes.
Now
Yes,
his flutes, I still have some in the bedroom. Those flutes have gone to Africa.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those it's a metal pipe.
Yes.
2.5 octave instrument,
Yes.
accurate B flat 440.
We obsess in polishing.
That's
it,
right.
it's
This
shiny.
was part of
Yes.
what
The marching
subject?
band.
The marching band.
The marching
the
band
School
is-
band.
Yes.
The primary school band. See, primary school bands, right? The kids are there only for a few years.
Yeah.
And so we don't have financial resources to buy them good instruments. So we buy them basic instruments. So
Okay.
the flute, then later on when they go to secondary school, they can branch out into clarinet, flute, what else? Pipes, because fingering, woodwind instruments, similar. So
Is
that
this-
was the idea.
I played saxophone.
Is it still a program that
No,
is alive?
it has died a natural death because Master Barbosa long time retired. So we are trying to resurrect and start this again.
Wow.
That is the plan, and we
Because that
already.
sounds more engineering than musicianship, and the cooler part of
I think the wonderful part about the brothers is that they stay in the school.
Yeah.
It's basically they live there the whole time, and this is a full-time thing. Unlike some, I mean, if you're a regular teacher, you go home and all that. It's their home, and everybody is their kids basically.
That's right.
So they have plenty of time to try out all kinds of
Yeah,
things.
it's amazing how you have people like that throughout history who are very into education, and they would, because their time frame, for us is traveling to another country is much more of an easier task because we have airplanes and all kinds of mode of transport. Some of them would spend months of their lives going through risks of malnutrition, disease, and stuff like that just to establish a network. That's a pretty amazing thing to get into the mind of.
Yep.
What motivates you?
In most schools, you could have a recording on the national anthem,
Yeah.
state anthem. We have it live.
Yeah.
By our in-house band.
Yeah, in-house band. That's right.
Crazy.
Not a small band, like a whole military
Yeah,
band. Yeah, so
No,
it's
I mean,
very interesting.
and that's beautiful because you are creating these memories that most people don't have in general. I mean, everybody has good and bad memories, but yours seem to be one that are pivotal to, like, for example, I understand the way you are entirely just by what you just. I was like, of course it is, but like moving forward and stuff like that, in Penang today, and with the kids today, do you think it's the same or harder of a challenge to keep the spirit alive?
No, I think we are still relevant. If we just focus very clearly, that our job here is to plant seeds and give students opportunities in life, right? So the flutes are going to primary school. We're going to get them some bugles so that they can learn the embouchure.
Yes.
And maybe later on in life, they will develop that if they're interested. Cheap drumsticks.
Yeah.
Inexpensive drumsticks. Can't say cheap. Yeah.
I remember the musical experience is very unique. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's very rare. You get to play all kinds of instruments.
Yeah.
It's quite instruments are expensive.
Yeah.
I remember taking back a saxophone from school and just home. It's like a self trust.
Yeah.
All trust, yeah.
It's interesting how you guys still have as an establishment, and of course you, Brother leading a few of them in regards to music, because I was having this conversation with, I'm not going to mention her name, but we were discussing about education in general. She's retired. She used to be a professor, but she went from teacher to professor. And she highlighted something where it comes to music and philosophy, right? And it's not a bad thing per se, but it's like once upon a time we were a country trying to survive, so we transitioned more to like capitalistic result based to create more of a workforce, right? But music and philosophy was the element of schools that was more about how to think, how to feel, and assess. And those are slowly fading away. And the thing is, I'm not talking just about Malaysia, but like at large, even in other countries, results based, exam based.
Yeah.
So where do you think, all of
Now,
that fits
if we go down that road only, now I'm not saying results are not important, results are important, but results should be viewed as a byproduct, right? If we go down the road only, drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling, I don't subscribe to that.
Yes.
I prevented one suicide in Singapore, right? And I did not, because the boy was so stressed. Jumped, got him, put him down, and then I was called to the office. Brother, you can't do that. You got to counsel him. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, Salle Brothers have that balance that's been right. I mean, the result shows also, because the Xavier not only create so many, captains of society, creatives and all that. The results were excellent. people actually would send their children to study there.
Yeah, I don't doubt
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
and there were dormitories nearby just to serve those purposes.
The boarding department. My dad was a boarder also in the 1940s. I think what summarizes St. Xavier's education is an all-rounded education, right? And all races together. There's no
I think
segregation.
it's really like the time for the Enlightenment. It's to create a balanced human being, not just on one
But
thing.
has it always had that boarding aspect of the school where students stayed? Was it always a boarding school?
No, it was not a boarding
Boarding
school.
school,
We had
but
a boarding
people-
department, a boarding section.
People if they stay on the mainland or even Perlis, like the future king,
Yeah.
they came all just to study.
Yes.
Yes.
And then so they would stay in the boarding department. Now we've long since shut the boarding department down, but way back when the boarding department was very popular.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting as well. So when it comes to some of the students nowadays, like what do you think is the biggest challenge for the students themselves in today's current environment, in learning, being able to delve into maybe topics that are
That
more
is
soft
a-
skills?
That is a difficult question to answer for certain, to be very certain about it. I do not know. I can only speculate. But from what I see with our students today, I see a shift. Now, when I was teaching in the international school and in Singapore, the students were very driven, studies only, and then rush back and tuition, and then come back. And what I see in our school is that the kids are friendly. They seem to say good morning to the teachers and good morning to each other. That for me is a big win.
Yes.
That's a big win.
We have a community. We're not like trying to win over each other, like a Game of Thrones, basically.
Yeah.
That's the esprit de corps there.
It's pretty cool. So, for me, that's important. Some might say that's a very simplistic view of education, but it's got to start somewhere. If the boys and girls, now because now we're co-ed, if the students are happy and content, they come to school. If they come to school, they learn, right? And studies have shown that, in fact, I subscribe to Hattie's visible learning. So inside there, he goes like, what makes a difference in how do you tell a good school from how do you tell a school from a good school? You'd be surprised. Is it classroom size? Is it private tuition? Is it having aircons in the room? Is it AI and information technology and IT and stuff? You'd be surprised. This is a meta study and it's a huge study. What makes a difference is student motivation. Student motivation. That means the student must be motivated to do well in whatever field he chooses, be it sports, music, academics, and so on.
So out of pure curiosity, I was just curious, how long has the school been a co-ed?
3 years now.
It's been 3 years,
3 years.
right?
Form 1, 2, and 3.
And then, so within
and
your
previously.
your
But,
career...
but previously the upper
Previously,
six
upper
were,
six.
were
Lower six, upper six.
Oh, right. Do you see a difference when it comes to learning between two different demographics of boys and girls? Like, is there a stark difference in approaching various subjects to one gender or the other, or the challenges or the advantages?
Well, already the culture is slowly changing, right? The culture is becoming gentrified because the girls are bullying the boys.
Oh, wow.
The girls are walking around in small groups and the boys get very shy because the girls develop faster.
Right.
So a girl in Form 1 might be so big, but a boy in Form 1 might be so small. So
Yeah, I completely forgot about that phase in life.
and more mature.
Yeah.
What
So
the
that's
boys
I
were
mean,
doing
like,
at those age.
We all are aware that women, they mature faster. So you're involved in that learning aspect of their lives. And I was always curious because I'm curious to learn about learnings.
So that move to co-ed how did it come about?
because we set the ministry sent the Form 6 out. So we inherited more classrooms, and then Convent Light Street closed down. Many things happened almost at the same time. Convent Light Street closed down, so someone's got to take care of the girls. So we said, okay, yeah. So we thought we'll absorb some convent girls, but then the girls now are coming from all over.
I see.
Right? So the student population is going up
I see.
in St. Xavier's, not only because of the girls. The girls, they account for about 70. I think we total girl population, the ladies is 70.
I think another thing, a wonderful thing about the school is the diversity part. It's really cosmopolitan, if you can say.
100%.
It's so mixed up. Like if you go to a particular vernacular school or whatever, we meet all kinds of people. It's just, And I think the interesting part is you got people like who are like the nephews of the chief minister, you know who I'm talking about, and
wow.
politicians, classmates, you know, of notable people, and yet you have people who are just living around the neighborhood. It's a wonderful mix. It's not elitist at all.
That's right. Yeah. That's elitist is no. We don't want
Like
that.
in Singapore, it's those schools that are like the La Salle schools. They are it's very hard to get into. This one is open to all. So you have from the rich, from the poor, from the everybody. So good mix.
Yeah, because
It's
I remember
unique.
visiting the museum and I was very pleased to see that there was a very vibrant chess club. I don't know if it was like a tournament or something happening that
Yes,
day.
yes, that's a tournament.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because like, you know, I've always enjoyed chess in general, and you know, it's one of those rare sports. It's both an Olympic sport and an e-sport, so I think it was just like really beautiful. But it dawned on me that you don't see a lot of schools have that. You know, I mean, there are those in batches and quarters, but like not like widespread where you have chess clubs as vibrant.
Astronomy clubs too. How many school has that?
Yeah, I've yet to see for myself, but like through you,
yeah.
I've heard about it. You know,
But we took a big hit because of COVID. So I think astronomy club is shut down. You know, but we are slowly getting back there. There've been calls to revive the astronomy club, but the problem is astronomy happens at night.
yeah.
Teachers don't want to come back at night.
Yes.
So these are the problems that we have. It's all operational problems. So anyway,
So how would you go about setting up an astronomy club? Like, do you actually have the equipment there?
well, we have an like a gallery on the roof. We had a telescope, but then after COVID, I don't know where it went to.
But the,
To the stars.
usually
Stars.
the alumni would rise to the occasion. when
That's
you know
right.
About it, yeah.
That's right. So we've been approached by I think an astronomy adult astronomy group that is interested to help. So we'll see how it goes.
Interesting.
Speaking about the alumni, you know the hall is the Hiaju Siang Hall, right?
Yeah.
He's another famous guy. That's his road name after him.
I like what I started in the beginning of the podcast listing out because like as it's coming.
I think it's a continuation because his grandson
Yeah.
was a classmate when I was there. So this is a continuation.
Yeah.
Was this something that you realized later on in life? Because I'm sure maybe when you were younger.
Seriously, if your grandpa's name is in the hall, you will get teased a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You know, because like that's the beautiful part about childhood. You know, you start off life not really aware or blissfully ignorant about who's who and stuff that you're not really. Oh, that person's father or grandfather or grandmother is famous.
One of the wing is called Kapar Singh. What is it called?
Yeah, Kapal Singh Hall.
Yeah. Kapar Singh's nephew was my classmate.
Wow,
in
what
the
was that
school.
like?
He's a normal guy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean.
Hardif.
Oh, there you go. You know, because you know what I love the most about when we've been doing this podcast, right? It's like on the human level, you know, regardless of which demographic you're for, it's there's a commonality of everybody needs that community element, and anyone that I've witnessed to have struggled intensely are those who are operating without one.
Nobel Prize nominee Cecil Rajendra is also one of ours.
What was he nominated for?
Literature. He's a poet.
Wow.
So I'm interesting. You used the word community a few times in the podcast.
Yeah.
So the brothers have 3 core values: faith, service, and community.
Yeah.
I always like to start by explaining community first. Community is we do it together as a group,
Yeah.
community, and we do a project together, service, some sort of project. So we realize that the B40 kids are in the school, our poor kids are in the school. That's our service. And faith means whatever small thing that we are doing, we believe that we might make a difference. Planting all these seeds and giving students opportunities. The Peralihan children, the removed kids are so happy today. I walked to the school field and they were having PE. And brother, so happy. So we have faith that what we do, we are bringing goodness into the world. And that basically is the brothers' mission. Faith, service, and community.
The community part is important. I know. I mean, in the school itself, you don't see each other as competitors. That's the beautiful part. Although some now just see as it's a school's place where you compete and try to defeat the other guy. It's not happening there. I mean, I think it's
So what about other schools though? I mean,
I
within
can't
the
say
school
for-
it's united, but like say for example, But let's get into
You have to
the-
give credit to the brothers. I think it was the vibe that they created. Yeah.
Because we were all teenagers once, and I'm sure we always saw another school as a rival school. So who's the rival for St. Xavier's? We would say?
Oh no, we cannot say that online. No. That cannot be mentioned.
I see what.
live.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no, no.
all right, okay, cool. So
It's like, you know, in Harry Potter, all the rivalry.
yeah, of course,
Yes,
like
yeah.
Gryffindor.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what I
yes.
mean, because you, and that's what I love. You know,
We don't talk about Slytherin here.
because the alma maters of various schools are big and small in their own particular way, but some are very competitive against the other. You know? And some are married to the girls' school, and you get this really weird mix. You're like, oh, okay.
Speaking of girls' school, a very important thing. Who owns the field? Is it the convent or St. Xavier's?
St. Xavier's.
St. Xavier's.
That is that's proven without.
Yeah,
Oh, the big
beyond
one.
that.
The
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Oh.
We share a field, you know, with a girls' school.
Yeah, I remember. Which the former girls' school, right?
Light Street Convent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are some people who like to kick balls over to this girls' school so they have an excuse to get it back.
Oh no, we were all teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, see, that's the thing.
Is it true that Martina Roselle's, Francis Light's wife, right? The cottage was there in the field.
I believe so.
yeah. So Martina's lane used to go across it.
There were parts of the building that had to be rebuilt, right? Xavier.
Oh, this is actually after the war. Actually,
Before the war?
in the gallery, I got a document from Akit Nagara.
Yeah.
It'll be in the gallery, right? It was a letter from the brother director to the prime minister,
Yeah.
and also to Princess Elizabeth. She wasn't queen yet.
Wow.
And it says that our building has been bombed by the very accurate American
Oh wow.
bombs, not the Japanese. It was the Americans at the
Very
end
specific.
that
huh?
carpet bombed the place and destroyed it. Yeah. So
Was it because-
then they're asking for funds to try to raise funds
That's
to
right,
build it back.
Was there a specific reason why it was bombed, or was it just like careless miss?
It was. It was used as during the war. The Japanese used it as a base.
Oh wow.
I think
The
naval
Navy,
base.
the Navy.
So it was a legitimate war target, military target.
But the headquarters was opposite the road at Convent.
Right.
Yep.
So that's why it was targeted. You know, it was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
It wasn't really targeted. American carpet bombed Georgetown. There are a lot.
So we are not sure whether Clement Attlee or Princess Elizabeth replied to that letter by Brother Basil, requesting a motorbike
Yeah,
or something
motorbike or something.
to auction. So cute, huh? So maybe England should do something about it now in life.
The letter can be seen here. Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's very
In fact,
interesting.
we can scan it also and show it to you.
Found it by accident. So it's another community thing. I was in Akit Nagara. I was looking through it. Like,
You found it.
I found it. Yes.
Oh my
And
god.
I just passed it to him.
Oh my god.
To our community, Ganesh. He's the Penang Heritage Trust.
Okay, you're
Ganesh.
gonna have to tell the story now. Okay, rewind back.
It's just that we just have a network of people
I know,
that are
but how
really
did you find
passionate.
it? What were you looking for?
A lot of historical stuff by accident. I mean, just like him, serendipity. The COVID happened. He was bored.
Yes, that's right. I was
I was
born.
looking for something else.
So you found it in what? The archive was in a folder, in a box,
I
behind.
think I was looking something about Wong Pao Ni and I came across. Because the archives are really like a needle in a haystack. The officer just tries to agak what is this and they just label it. Sometimes it's wrong place and you have to find it's by accident you found it. They probably think Wong Pao Ni has something to do with St. Xavier's and put it in St. Pao.
So guide me to the world of the archive, right? How much of it has been looked over and deduced any connection theoretically?
No, it depends on the country. Yeah. But if you talk about St. Xavier's preserving things, actually, you talk about the magazine archival. That is very important.
Yeah,
Because I think it's one of the most complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can probably-
It's most complete because we always thought 1947 was our first volume.
Yeah.
And then was it Dr. Ganesh? Ganesh was the one that said, no, we found 1931. So all these gems are coming
Ganesh
up
from the
again.
Penang Heritage Trust. Yeah.
Penang Heritage Trust.
Isn't he part of the Heritage Council too?
He
Yeah,
is, yes.
yes.
Yeah. So we've got a whole room, the rail archive room, a small air-conditioned room, that we keep all the school magazines and all that. And
Wow.
all our forefathers, I think the late Mr. Vincent Michael, he was the one that squirreled them away, kept them away, the school living certificates and so on. So without these people, the giants that came before us, we wouldn't have a product that we have done that is visible now in the Heritage Center.
It's also digitized right online.
It's all
You can actually see it online.
Yes.
It's a complete set.
complete set.
It's also very useful for history research.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of like notable people in there. If you want to research
Yeah,
them,
yeah. Of
you
course,
can get
of course.
pictures of them from their
Wow. No,
teenage.
this is amazing because, like, you know, the more I'm discovering that the school itself is not only saying love history as like a motto, you're actually you have skin in the game of preservation. Like
Our
you have,
motto is Labor Omnia Vincit, labor conquers all.
labor conquers all.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has one here.
Oh yes, that's right.
So it's just like hard work is like, you know, you know.
So how is the gallery funded, and what are the future plans for it about
Well,
sustainability?
Yeah, the gallery, there are 4 sections, and each section was donated by a group or by an alumni, an old boy. So the Xavier Club Kuala Lumpur donated something, and OXA donated something, and a group of students of, I think, class of 1974, I think.
Ooh, wow.
Right, donated something, and then an individual donated something as well. So for the 4 sections, you know. So each donor has been commemorated in a small little plaque, right? That explains everything. The school did not really pay a single cent. Yeah, it was all donated.
Any rough estimates how much it would have cost? Yeah.
Oh, that one I have to ask permission from Victor Tan to release this state secret. No, cannot.
At least now we know it's Victor Tan. Thank you
Tan.
for that gallery.
Yeah.
So who did all the design for the exhibits?
Yes, we had a team. We had a team. We had a designer. We had a team. There was a lot of bouncing ideas and changes and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was a team effort. Yeah.
Can you maybe talk about a little bit more about actual archaeology in the school, like the time capsule and the plaque you found? Yeah.
Okay, so the plaque that we found, well, I was just walking in Brother Charles' garden, and
Just like that.
just like that, and I found a slab of what looked to be like marble, but it was full of dirt and all that. So I took it and I washed it, and it's an interesting design. Then I went down again and I said, I wonder if there are more of these things. So I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces.
What?
So when I pieced them together, then I saw a date, 1888. Okay, on this marble slab. So it's a funny little design. So when we did our research, we realized this was in relation to a crest called the Sodality of the Children of Mary. Basically orphans.
Yeah.
In 1888, right? So then I went back to the director's diary in 1888.
Yeah.
Yes, they established this kind of group, this Sodality, this group to look after orphan boys.
Oh my.
And they would house them also in the hostel. Right? So that's living history. And it's just a hidden treasure in plain sight.
In the ground.
Undergrounds, yeah. Discovered in 2022, if I'm not wrong. So that's the plaque thing. Then what's the other one you mentioned?
The time capsule.
The time
behind-
capsule.
Yeah.
Time capsule. What's his name? But anyway, some prominent old boy wrote a book, gave us the book. He has passed away. His name just doesn't come to me now. He wrote a book, and inside there he has a section about his days in 1950s in St. Xavier's, and he remembers the marble foundation. Was it
So as you walk in the entrance right to the right, there's a marble.
The foundation
piece
stone.
behind that.
Yeah.
It's actually a compartment with a time capsule.
Yes, so
Wow.
he mentioned that he remembers seeing the bishop Olsumendi was laying this foundation, this time capsule. So we decided to let's give it a try. Let's quite slowly remove the marble and jackhammer and see whether we can find
It's
it.
like Da Vinci Code.
That's right, and we didn't find it. We didn't find it. Then we realized that we read the instructions wrongly. It's behind the marble thing and below. So we went a bit below, and we got it.
Wow.
It's a nice big copper plate.
When was it buried there?
1953, if I'm not wrong.
And it was found in?
3 years ago. Yeah.
What was in it?
So we decided to remove it before the corporate memory is forgotten. Before we forget things.
What was inside?
It was some scrolls and some coins and other things that people should know and see when they visit the Heritage Center, because it's all displayed on the wall.
You know, I knew about it because I remember I was in like after Form 5 exams or something. Was it? No, I think it was earlier. I'm not sure was it Brother Casimir or Brother Paul. He took us around a tour.
Yeah.
And pointed out that there's a time capsule that I remember. So there's a corporate memory.
Wow.
Yes.
Corporate memory, yeah.
Yes.
Would there be any plans to put a new capsule?
Yes, we've already done a new time capsule. It has been blessed. And it's also placed in the Heritage Center with a big sign that says, time capsule here. So
Was there a specific date when it's supposed to be open?
yes, it's supposed to be open in 2052.
Whoa.
So before that, it was, the brothers telling the students all these
Yeah.
things,
Yeah, and
passing it on.
Yeah. And who knows, people might forget. and
Yeah.
stuff. But now it's a big sign saying that. The time capsule there.
Dig here. Dig
So
here.
you one up, just like, we might as well make it very noticeable. It's beautiful because, like, with these time capsules, you have snippets of the soul of the times.
That's right.
It's hard to describe. It's all these intangible things. Yes, you can itemize everything, but it's more the feeling that it provides, because you have an intimate relationship with the person that you are of that time period who ran the school or the students themselves. So to find out more about them is you kind of like, oh, okay, this person went through what I went through. Maybe 2 days not so bad.
Yeah. So we are about to reach the end of the show.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
We could have just gone on and on. That was one of those
It's really interesting. I just got to say that if you look at the heritage wing, the new one,
yeah.
you really can't tell it's new because it's really nicely done. Like it blends in the architecture.
That's
That
right.
was very well done. Yeah.
Yeah, we should totally visit that. So, brother, thank you so much for your time. I really love these podcasts because at the very end you realize when it's the time is up, how much has passed and how comfortable everybody is.
I think it's before we go, maybe some practical details of when is it open, how much does it cost to visit, and
how do
that.
we get in?
Yes.
Right, so it's open every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We would like to extend the opening hours, but at the present time now, we cannot afford it yet because of the electricity and we've got to put somebody there, person on duty. So 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sundays.
Is there anything you want to ask maybe the alumni to help with, volunteer or whatever?
Yeah, what's the project that?
Can let it be known here.
So right now we are working on redeveloping the Hiaju Siang Hall
Ah.
because it's infested by white ants.
Oh my.
Right, so the other day one part of the ceiling fell down. So and then we had a dinner for Brother Paul. So we didn't even treat the wood. We just put a new ceiling board up and it looks nice. But all white ants inside. So that needs some work. We need to really have a look at that. We also want to redevelop our sporting facilities, especially the field. Through the years, the field has become a bit, wobbly, and apparently, I'm told, it's not safe to run because someone might sprain the ankle and stuff like that. So we need to gut the whole field, fix the drainage, resurface it, and we want to put a what do you call it, running track around it. That's the second project, and the third project is, and this one is the most difficult because we have to get approvals from the heritage people in Penang, right?
Yeah.
It's very simple. We want to put a cover. We want to have a covered basketball court. That's it. So we can have covered assemblies.
I see.
Basketball games can go on at night and all that. It's so difficult to get the approval. But I am hopeful and confident that eventually we'll get these approvals. So these are the three big things that we are working on now. It'll take a few years to get it, but we'll do it.
I think before I leave, we point out something historic in the Hiaju Siang Hall. I think there was a performance of Beethoven Symphony No. 9,
That's right.
Yeah.
What?
So-
When?
Beethoven Symphony No. 9 is massive. It has a choir, full orchestra.
What year was this?
It just happened.
Just happened.
What?
Yes.
When's
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
one?
I mean, it's probably the only school hall where Beethoven's Ninth
Yeah,
was
probably.
performed.
It was performed by PPO, Penang
Yeah.
Philharmonic. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because I want to find out where some of these performances are happening. Is there? Do you have it on your website or?
Oh no, this is the orchestra wanted to perform there, so
Yeah.
it's a usual event.
So our next one is June 30th, at the end of the month. It's in aid for fundraising for Hiaju Siang Hall. It's a jazz concert by the PPO. So that'll be interesting as well.
So please come and then look at St. Saviour's and join the gallery. Thank you, brother, for coming.
Thank you.
so much.
Okay, thank you. Wow, that was a wonderful conversation.
Thank
brother.
you.